Welcome back to Talk of the Town. I'm Elizabeth Hancock, subbing in for Sandy Benson, and with me today I have Channing Heiss. He is the vice chairman of the Sea Island Ferry Task Force. Tell me a little bit about that.
Well, the Sea Island Ferry Task Force is an offshoot of the Binya Foundation. The Binya Foundation was established by Robin Townsend in 2009 to preserve and promote culture and architectural preservation in our area, as well as to preserve the very unique environment in which we live, the very unique natural environment in which we live, and also to promote tourism, economic growth, and job creation.
Okay.
It's kind of an organization that believes in balancing the interests of everyone so that everyone wins, and I joined because I thought that was a great mission. Now, the Sea Island Ferry Task Force is an offshoot, an outgrowth, if you will, of the Binya Foundation. It was started by several people who were in the Binya Foundation, but it's operating right now as basically a freestanding entity. And what we're trying to do, what we've been trying to do since the founding in December of 2010, is to promote the creation of a very, very creative and innovative transportation network that would take all of the existing infrastructure, all of the existing pieces that we have, public and private transportation services, put them together with a ferry system and create an intermodal, multimodal transportation web, if you will, that would bring people and resources in the low country closer together, whether you're talking about tourists seeking entertainment and recreation. We have a lot of great outdoor and indoor recreational opportunities here. Whether you're talking about locals who want to access job opportunities, who want to commute to work, all of these groups would benefit from the creation of a transportation web or a transportation network.
Wow. And how long have you been with the organization?
I joined the Binya Foundation back in just this past January, 2012, when I met Robin Townsend at the Business Expo at the Westin.
Oh, wow.
She and I hit it off right away, and she asked me if I wanted to be part of the organization, and when she told me what it was all about, I jumped right at the chance. A few months later, in the early and mid-spring, I officially became the vice chair of the Sea Island Ferry Task Force. I've been working very closely with Robin Chamberlain, who was our chairman, and we've been making some great progress. We've had a lot of really great responses. We have a telephone number set up, and we've had a couple of newspaper articles published about us, and people are calling and expressing a great deal of enthusiasm, a great deal of interest.
Now, tell me a little bit more about the ferry transportation, and how is it going to serve our area, and particularly the people that live here? Well,
ideally, what we'd like to see, and you have to remember, when it comes to ferry systems, we have a lot of options, first of all. There are ferry systems, ferry boats of every shape and size, and we have everything on the table. There's everything from 149-seat large ferry boats all the way down to 15-seat water taxis. All of these things are on the table right now. We don't know at this point, because it's very early in this process, how we might make that choice, or how we might combine several of them in this network. That still remains to be seen. We're doing a lot of studying about the pros and cons of various sizes of ferries. We're looking at the feasibility of various landings in this area to handle deep water vessels, that kind of thing. So as far as how it's all going to go together, it's a little bit too early to tell. We're open to anything. Right now, we're studying this, and we welcome any kind of contribution, people from civil engineers to people who've run ferry systems in other states. We're looking for advice from everyone, because we want to do this right, and we think that if we solicit advice from all of these different interested entities, people who have expertise in one area or another, that's how you get the best result. Let's get all the information we can. We don't want to turn anyone away. If you're out there and you have a good idea as to how to make this work, ring our telephone. We want to hear from you.
Now, how far do you think this would extend? Is this something that would come from Hilton Head and just go to Daufuskie? Would it be something that would reach further areas in our low country?
Well, the working model that we're going from right now is basically a Savannah to Beaufort model. It includes Port Royal as well. When LRTA was kind enough to share with us a report that they did last year on the possibility of an intermodal ferry-based transportation system, they provided us with a nice theoretical route map that goes pretty much from Savannah to the Beaufort area. What we're thinking about, and again, this is not written in stone, but what we're thinking about is we could perhaps have daily runs from, say, Hilton Head to Beaufort and back. We would have, in theory, an 8 a.m. run for commuters, and then a 6:30 return run from Beaufort for the commuters, because a lot of people on Hilton Head and in Bluffton would desire the opportunities, the job opportunities that exist in a town like Beaufort. That's a fairly high action, busy type place where there are a lot of business hubs and a lot of business opportunities that you might not be able to find in some of the outlying areas. So it would be great to be able to commute there. So this is the kind of scheduling we're thinking about. Daily runs for the commuters, some runs for visiting tourists. That's another very important aspect to this thing. That's why I think it's so important to remember this benefits the locals and the tourists as well. This has far-flung, wide-ranging benefit for a lot of people.
Now, can you talk a little bit more about the intermodal aspect of the network and how that might look and who it might serve?
Sure. According to our research, there have been many, many efforts across the country to create intermodal transportation systems, mixing ferries with buses. In some cases you have light rail, in some cases you have taxi or limo services. And in some larger areas you might even have airplanes. Obviously that wouldn't apply here, but we're trying to take all of those examples and make the low country version of an intermodal system based on the ferries, whether it would be ferries that we buy through the county or the state, or ferries that we contract out from an existing company. We don't really know which way we'll go yet, but those are viable possibilities. Then you take that ferry system, you put it together with a lot of our existing bus services, public and private sector, limo services, van services. You put that all together, you schedule it in a very clever way, and there you go. You have a great, efficient network where people can become essentially closer to the resources that they need. Great networks tend to shrink an area. What they have the effect of doing is bringing people and resources closer together, which is what we're hoping to do. We're also very, very committed in this intermodal system to making it as user-friendly as possible for people with various disabilities, various mobility issues, because we think it's very important to make sure that everybody in our area and everyone who visits has an opportunity to access all of the recreational and business and work opportunities that this area has to offer.
That sounds exciting and very inspirational. Thank you so much for coming on the show. If you all are interested out there in the Sea Island Ferry Task Force, please go online to their website. I know I will definitely be interested to see you in the future and what this organization is doing. Thank you again for coming on, and we'll be right back with Talk of the Town.